sour taste of a 1-point loss to Royals in last year's grand final has been the driving force behind Dara domination of the 1989 season. Dara took revenge for their 88 loss by forcing Royals into the sudden death preliminary final when they beat their arch rivals in the major semi-final 2 weeks ago. Royals staged a late surge in that match to only go under by a point. They then regrouped and easily accounted for West 17-0 in the preliminary final. Now all is set for a rematch between the two sides which have dominated the ACT rugby competition in the 80s.
And welcome to Manuka Oval for the 1989 ACT Rugby Union Grand Final, brought to you by the Canberra Building Society. Perfect rugby conditions here today. I'm Peter Chapman, ACT coach for 1989. Bob Hitchcock is going to be up in the commentary position with me. Who's your tip?
Dara, I think, because of their consistency, Peter.
Okay, Bob, thanks very much. Looking forward to your comments through the games. Okay, let's have a look first of all at the defending premiers lineup. From the front, Rainey, Taylor, Didier, Merrilees, Thomas, Ferris, Roach, Ross, Canane, Moore, Alchin, Clark, Quinn, Hoffmeyer and Penny is the fullback. The coach, Kim Thurban.
It'll be the toughest game my players have had in their senior careers, I would think. Dara Marlin have been pipped by us last year and they'll be out for revenge, but I think my players can handle it physically and mentally.
Let's have a look at the minor premiers lineup. Dara Marlin, Dunellen, Hickey, Tozer, Cinderberry, Johnston, Fox, O'Neill, Hunt, McCormack, Carey, Morton, Hall, Bullavai, Feeney, Friend and their coach, Brendan McGee.
We introduced probably for the first time in many years a trainer that is specifically in the club to train the blokes and concentrate on their fitness. It's been something that has been successful for us. We've gone right through the season almost undefeated, and that's one factor that's helped us along. The introduction of a few new backs, Albert Fullavoy playing the full years helped. Playing Craig Norton in his position. There are a number of factors that have helped us, and certainly a reasonably strong forward pack.
Also commentating today with us, Steve Lidbury, former Wallaby. Who's your tip, Steve?
I have to go for Royals.
Okay, well you've got a tip each way. We're going to go to a break and come back with all the action here from Manuka Oval.
The Canberra Raiders, the big team in the 89 Winfield Cup. Capital is proud to support the Raiders and to bring to Canberra our exclusive Raiders big game coverage. What you get is what you see, and you'll get all the finals action right here on Capital.
People are looking around to make their money work harder, and they're finding they couldn't do better than right here. From as little as $1,000, serious investors are taking a bigger interest in CBS fixed-term investments and withdrawing their money from the bank.
What could be better than the bank?
At CBS, you get better than high interest because your money goes to where it counts the most. Canberra, and our own building society. You couldn't do better.
Drive into the 90s with a friend. You got a friend in the Canberra Toyota. The kind of service that never ends. You got a friend in the Canberra Toyota. You know you can depend on us. Our reputation built on trust. Take the wheel, the Canberra Toyota. Better give the Canberra Toyota. Oh, what a feeling.
Canberra Toyota.
There are airlines that fly one stop to London. Let's get this straight. From August 31st, only one airline can fly you all the way one stop on a brand new Boeing 747-400. So if you want the fastest flight to London, make sure you're on the plane that turns up. British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
It's the food.
No, it's more than just the food.
But that's what we keep coming back for. Your entree, madam.
Lovely.
Your oyster soup? Thank you.
You see, it's the service too.
All I know is they've been going for 15 years. They must be doing something right.
Not just something, John. Everything's special at the Hermitage. It's a perfect combination.
To the Hermitage.
The Hermitage.
The Hermitage Restaurant, Woden Plaza. Something to look forward to. Something to remember.
And welcome back to Manuka Oval. We've just seen the 1,000 relay taken out by Dara. Whether that's going to be an omen of what's going to happen in the first grade grand final, we're just going to have to wait and find out. The lower grade results, first of all, saw Norths take the fourth grade 10-7 over Royals. Royals fought back in thirds to beat Queanbeyan 20-3, and in seconds, a good game. The score doesn't really show what the match was, but it was eventually taken out by Royals 21-6 after the scores were locked at 6-all with only about 10 minutes to go. Well, Bob, you've tipped Dara and before. Do you want to outline just why you're tipping the side as they run out on the paddock now?
Well, they've played very consistently the whole year. Very well balanced side. And I think the potential to strike from anywhere around the field is the big factor in their favour. They've got Target Coolify, who's just a classic centre. They've got a runner in Craig Norton on the wing, and they've got a tremendously powerful front row. So I think they're a very balanced side.
Okay, plenty of height, as you mentioned too. Cinderberry?
Well, Cinderberry's been playing increasingly better as the season's progressed, and he's going to be hard to nullify. But really the game's going to be won and lost in the back row, quite frankly.
Okay, well here comes your tip, Steve Libbury, the Royal side, coming onto the paddock now, being led out by Michael Roach, their captain. Why are you going for them?
Oh, well, I've had a look at both sides, and sure, Dara Marlin's a lot bigger, but I think on a beautiful day like this in Canberra, you know, the smaller pack might get around the paddock a little bit faster. And I'm sure Dara Marlin's got some good centres, but they've always been close when these two play together. So I'm just going to be opposite. I'll go for Royals.
Okay, and Peter McPhillips is the referee for today's game, and this is the 10th year that Peter has controlled the first grade. That's a great achievement in any code. Well, the whistle has been placed into the hand, and we're soon to blow time on here. And quite a good crowd, as I said before. Perfect conditions for Rugby Union. Slight breeze. Richard Keeley's our man on the sideline down there. Richard, who would this breeze be favouring in the first half?
Well, possibly Dara Marlin in the first half. So, but there's not much breeze to talk of. As you mentioned earlier, conditions perfect. There's not a lot of love between these two sides. They're very, very determined. The atmosphere's electric. Royals have already picked up, as you mentioned, 2 premierships so far today. So it's going to be a great contest.
Okay, well, it's Royals to kick off, and 5'8", Anthony Moore is going to kick off. Anthony Moore, you'll be able to pick him up. He's got the white boots on, and we're looking for the skydivers. In fact, here they come. So I have to hold up the kickoff. Anthony, you better look up, son, because the skydiver's about to land on you. It's not a bad effort. Richard Keeley watching.
I'm going to catch him. He's got the parachute anyway.
Okay. Well, Richard was almost taken out, but he showed due respect for the players, and here comes blue and white.
By the look of that,
down now, Royals.
By the look of that, I don't think I'll take that sport. That bloke just landed on his head, and that'd be disastrous if I did.
All right, well, here come the last 3 parachutists. I'm sure the players will be fairly nervous at this point of time. At crucial minutes before the kick-off, nerves. You really have to get in there and make that first tackle, Steve, don't you, to really settle yourself down?
Well, I was walking through the crowd earlier on, and there's a little bit of controversy I heard about the referee, and this bloke refereed him the same last year, and Royals went in extra time. A few controversial penalties. Maybe they're hoping that one of the skydivers land on him.
Okay, we can see that Royals captain Michael Roach has called his players in together to really psych them just up, and that's a great landing from red and white.
Well, Peter McPhillips is certainly our best and most experienced referee. He's Mr. Unflappable, and I'm sure that you'll find that he referees this game in the most unobtrusive way.
Okay, well, that's a pat on the back for Peter McPhillips. I'm sure he wouldn't have had 10 first grade grand finals to his name if he wasn't unflappable and completely unbiased. Okay, well, we'll see just how cool he is, because this should be a fairly hot opening. Watch for the white boots of Anthony Moore. The 5'8", they've been a bad luck omen in the past, Steve, but...
yeah, well, that's a bit of a funny thing to wear white boots. I wonder if they're hard taped for the pirouettes and that.
Lining up for the cricket season.
Okay. Well, on this oval, it's a beautiful oval too here at Manuka. And we're waiting for the parachuters to drag their chute off the ground. But they weren't nervous a few minutes ago when they went on. They lined up the kick. They certainly are now. And Dara Marlin charged up to reverse that 1-point loss. As you said, in extra time last year. The noise of the crowd comes up as Moore starts time on here at Manuka Oval. And Denellen drops the ball back, and it's pushed through by the Royals pack. They've got the advantage. And immediately they swing it out to the back line, showing they're going to pass with the ball's put down. Bad luck, Matthew Penny. Advantage to Dara Marlin, says referee. And the ball's kicked downfield, and it's a... Well, I thought it was going to say it was a great kick, but unfortunately it just carried a little bit too far.
I think you'll find he'll play the advantage here, or he won't play the advantage and put a scrum down.
It looked like Jim Taylor who took the kick there. Didn't pick him up in the early part of play, but as the Dara Marlin were playing the advantage before they took the kick, so they'll go back to that and play the knock-on by Royals fullback Matthew Penny. Just to be fed by halfback Anthony McCormack, and a little bit of trouble to set this scrum first in the match. And this is where it'll be won and lost today. In the forwards, they've both got good back lines, and it was a good push by Royals, but the ball has come out. It's been half charged down, and this is play on. Royals should come up with this ball, and it's an attacking opportunity for them, only about 25 metres out from the Dara Marlin line. Main throws it back to Moore, and this is a high kick. No real chasers coming through, and not a real lot of pressure, and there's been an eruption in back play. The forwards are into it, and they're not holding back with left and right. Jeff Penny could be proud of a couple of those, and they're still going on. That was Mark Cinderberry, the basketballer come rugby union player throwing them.
That's a funny thing, the difference between rugby union and rugby league. When the balls happen in rugby union, you seem to get away from it a little bit. They just cut the scrum down, set them to curl off. But in rugby league, you seem to be sent to the sideline fairly quick.
Okay, my apologies to Mark Cinderberry. I think that was Johnston throwing them. So he's called out a couple of the old balls. Looks like O'Neill and Didier.
I knew Didier would be in there. Whenever there's a ball under the rules, Didier's always in there.
And I could expect, Bob, that Royals might try and upset the Dara Marlin pack.
Well, there's obviously going to be a testing time up front. Neither front row is going to want to give away a thing. And I know Jeff, Matt Rainey and Jimmy Taylor are very competitive, but Leroy's not going to give anything away either.
I think it's good that it happens. Oh, well, it's not good, but I think it's good it happens earlier on. It gets it over and done with, and then they get down to see a bit of football.
Okay, well, we've gone back and taken the fair mark. And Alan Friend puts it out about 30 metres out or so from his own try line. It's a short line out. A quick throw in on the far side. Ball knocked forward according to Phillips, and the scrum will be set. Royals to feed.
Still a little niggle going on there. Mark Cinderberry and Matt Rainey discussing the weather.
Okay, scrum to be set. 30 metres out. Should be a Royal ball. But Dara Marlin coming through, and Phillips gives it to Dara Marlin.
That's good pressure from the Dara Marlin halfback there, and he caught the Royals halfback, and they've got a scrum out of it.
Talking about David Canane for Royals and Anthony McCormack, Dara Marlin half. How do you assess these players? Bob McCormack, first of all, the Dara Marlin half.
He's a very tidy player. He doesn't overplay his hand. Canane's had an up and down season with injury, so it's going to be very competitive around there, but they're two good halfbacks.
Well, McCormack's put it on the toe, and he goes back through to Penny, and he hooks up with his forwards. This is a good push over the top by the Dara Marlin pack, and they came up with the ball. Play on, says the referee, playing the advantage. Good to see. He might have to blow this up. In fact, he does, just as it comes out to the Dara Marlin backs on the halfway line. They will get the feed. So it's Dara Marlin for the first time in the match from the kickoff, with a chance to penetrate into Royals territory. McCormack to feed it. Looking to move this ball out to Albert Fullerby. Watch for him. He's a great runner with the ball. Number 13, he's the centre. And he didn't get the ball. It was an intercept, in fact. Fullerby's got it now, but he's got nowhere to go. He's in the middle of the forward ruck. And it's scrappy play here at the moment. The ball finally comes out to McCormack. The team's still settling down. McCormack's got the ball now and he drives it deep into Royals territory and it takes a right turn, and that's a good kick. Plenty of support for Darren Marlin here at Manuka Oval. Fairly scrappy opening, Bob. They really haven't settled down.
Sounding out a bit anxious. I think neither set of forwards will be happy about the way that the ball's being delivered to their half. But we're going to have to tidy that up, and I'm sure they will. This is where Royals are going to have a few problems.
Pretty height, the Darren Marlin forwards. Royals look like they've got this one.
I think you find that Royals going to pull a lot of short line-outs today to try and combat the height of the Darren Marlin line-out, and hopefully we'll see a bit of running football.
Royals will play the advantage here, and they'll feed this scrum. About 30 metres out from their own line as they untangle and unpile.
The white boots let Anthony Moore shoot shorty stick out.
You can't miss him, and that's the trouble though. If you make a mistake, you're certainly not missed. If you do something good, you're certainly seen now. It's a good kick downfield, but it's well taken by Friend. There's an optimistic chance.
So on his day he can strike those. He's got the breeze behind him and it's blowing diagonally into that corner. And Adam Friend would be the biggest kicker of ball in rugby in the ACT, and it's something that Royals are going to have to take account of. Well, actually, Darren Marlin's got some good advantage out of that because they get the ball back from the 25, so it was smart thinking, really. It was good.
A 60-metre attempt. It fell about 10 metres short, so I'll go with Friend from about the halfway line anywhere on the paddock on that sort of kick. A very dangerous player. Wells, 22. And this ball's going to float out. No, it was knocked back in by Merrilies, and the Dara Marlin forwards charging through. His foot into touch was Canane, who climbed up behind the Royals pack. Well, it's a Dara Marlin line out.
This is what they need. I think Darren Marlin need the ball here. Look like they're set to run it.
It's a long throw in. The ball's knocked back forward. It's being tipped around the place very dangerously, and it goes back to the man in the white boots, Anthony Moore. Kicks across field. Misjudged by the winger on the far side, Morton. Feeney comes through. Oh, and the ball was just left there for anyone to pick up. And Didier soon caught up on that one. And he's tossed in on the far side, and it looks like it has erupted again, and they're holding Didier out of it.
Peter O'Neill and Jeff having another round two.
Well, I'm sure you're going to see referee McPhillips say something now.
Yeah, I think they've both been warned once. You keep on doing it all day. One of them might end up with an early shower if he keeps going. So I think they've got to cool it down a little bit.
Well, you can let so much go in a grand final, Steve, but you can't let it go all first half.
Well, I always thought you'd probably never get sent off in the grand final, but David Cody proved me wrong when he got sent off in a test or a grand final. He got sent off in that test match.
Very early in the first half.
Yeah.
Okay, Darren Marlin backs, Fullerby running through, and he's taking a good tackle by his opposite number, Quinn. Accept in centre field.
There's a few steps in those rucks the boys are climbing.
There's a chance for Royals to clear at the Darren Marlin forwards offside.
Yes. Leroy coming through like a breakaway there, and I think he was a bit astonished by his own speed.
Penalty to Royals. Not a good kick off the side of his boot, but still finds touch, and Royals are still in their own territory. They fight their way out. This is one of the points of rugby union, Bob. like to bring up. The penalty has gone to the Royal side. A kick for the touchline, but then the opposition gets to throw it in. It seems to be unbalances the value of the penalty. What are your comments on that?
Yes, I think that rule has to be changed and seriously looked at. You get a penalty and then concede any advantage. I think you should also get the putting.
Okay, Dara Marlin coming through now, putting plenty of pressure on Penny, who steps well. It's a good run by the fullback under immense pressure back there. He's looking for support from his forwards now. And it's good support from his forwards. They're going to prepare to run it on the far side. That's a good pass. And it's Royals on the attack now. Oh, beautiful fend, but he's run straight over the sideline. Well, it was a good fend off by Phil Alchin, but he forgot there's a sideline out here.
I think Royals have really got to have a closer look at spreading the ball. They've got speed on, particularly on Phil Alchin's side, and Hoffmeyer's no slouch, and they've got to use them more than they have in the past.
They're two very even teams out here. They haven't really moved off the halfway mark the whole game. They've just gone back and forth between the 25s.
The Royals did well to get the ball on the pass ruck, and they've done well again. It goes to Moore. He's showing that they're prepared to spin it every occasion. Clark turns and looks for his forwards. He's got them, but Dara Marlin forwards are trying to really put the pressure on. Run by Rainey. Rucking forward the Royals pack. Down the blind side, Moore had a look at who was coming up and he gets it away. But Dara Marlin now with the advantage as they charge into this ruck.
I think they're showing up his right boots, putting off that ball. He'll be glary.
We'll have to give him a fair go, Anthony, in all fairness.
There's some nifty hairdos out there. If you have a look at the Dara Marlin side, there's some nice little unusual arrangements for the grand final.
Yeah, I remember in Ringo when we went to the grand final once, we were going to shave our heads. And I thought, no, the rucks are a little bit too vigorous for having a shaved head, so might leave my hair on. But we was talk about it. Maybe they've done something in the same category.
Well, if you have a look, they've got little designs carved in around the back of the cranium.
I think it means we're on the warpath today. What do you reckon, Peter?
Okay, well, we've got an injury here while we've got a man down. We'll take a commercial break. The scoreline, 0-0 in the ACT Grand Final.
Right now, those unbelievably generous people at Shell are giving away $1 million cash. Each time you visit, they'll give you one of these, a Shell Moneymaker. All you do is match them up, and they'll give you cash. 2, 5, 10, 50, 100, $1,000, or even 5,000 really big bucks. Then every Moneymaker winner goes into a hat. And if your name's drawn, you'll experience something you've never experienced before. Well, $50,000 worth. Shell Moneymaker. Match them up and make a mint.
Canberra Inn, seafood and a la carte restaurant. It's the next best thing to being there.
The True Shade Blinds' incredible pre-season sale is on now, and the huge stock of blinds, awnings and security doors must be cleared to make way for the new stock. You'll save 25% off the price of True Shade Venetian blinds. True Shade Holland blinds are just half price. True Shade canvas and acrylic awnings are just half price. True Shade security doors are just $205. You reap the savings at the True Shade Blinds' incredible pre-season sale on now. True Shade Blinds, Wollongong Street, Fishwick. Free action shots of the mighty Raiders stars in a strictly limited collector's pack of giant 6x4 glossy photos, only at Foxy Fast Photos and Bell's Dry Cleaners. 20 action-packed photos free with every order with replacement film from all 7 Foxy outlets, and with every Bell's Dry Cleaning order $10 and over. Open till late Saturday, Queanbeyan and Manuka, and all weekend at Kipax, Hawker, Melba, Waniassa and Belconnen. Get your collector's pack of Raiders action photos only at Bell's and Foxy.
You're going to eat balls today.
So welcome back to Manuka Maple as we see Royals under pressure on their own line after a good break down the blind side by the Dara Marlin backs, and here we see another great break. Green charging through. Eventually they have to step over the sideline, Royals. So a real chance for Dara Marlin to put some points on the board. They've got the line out only about 5 metres out. That was a good run by the fullback friend down the blind side. Not much room to move. Putting the pressure on Royal. Still 0-0 here at Manuka Oval in the ACT 89 Grand Final, brought to you by the Canberra Building Society. And here we go forward. Danellan slips the ball back. Here goes the Dara Marlin pack. The Royals hold tight. Under pressure now. Only a few metres out, and it's come out the Royals side. Well, good work by the Royals forwards to be able to hold off. And player who's on the sideline, who'd like to be out there at the moment, I'm sure, is Paul Cornish with Mike Kavanagh.
That's right, Paul Cornish, who this season the Wallaby hasn't exactly been seen many times in the pack. Paul, what's the story? You're stripped. Are you going to go on?
I think only in extreme circumstances. I'm sort of got stripped, had a bit of a warm up, but unless someone in the seconds really can't go on, then I don't think I'll be going on. I'll just sort of go for a bit of a run.
There's been no room for the faint-hearted out there. Typical grand final between Royals and Dara.
Yeah, there's certainly been a few fire ones in the past, and this one looks like it's been a pretty good spin it here.
There's an attack here. Dara Marlin's first real chance of scoring, and finally cleaned up at the back by Matthew Penny.
Nicely played by Craig Hall. Nice little gravel kick into the end goal area there.
Thanks very much for the interview with Paul Cornish. I'm sure would love to be out there if injury wasn't holding him back. Here's a short kick by a friend, and he's chasing through into clear open space, but across there, making a bit of a meal of it too, was Andrew Plum.
That was good work by the fullback, Dara Marlin.
It's looked dangerous every time he's had the ball, friend.
He's a big bird, that Adam Friend, isn't he?
Very strong on his feet. He's made times he's run quite nicely.
I'm talking about strength. Here's the Dara Marlin fullback. It's had a field goal. It's off the post, bounces back. Just going to be a try to Dara Marlin. The ball's gone everywhere. The ball eventually is knocked on. They're playing the advantage to Royals. So even if they go over, they're going to be told to come back. Well, that certainly was a near thing. It looked like a quick shot at field goal to me, and it came off the top of the post.
There's no love lost there. You can see that Blake for the Royals really curled around the ball. He copped a few for his trouble.
Now, there was the replay of it. It did come off the top of the post. Picking it up was Mick Feeney, and almost coming up with a try. Well, the Royals have won the scrum. Naturally, they were feeding it.
Dara Marlin starting to get their act together, and they're starting to...
Desperate defence by Royals to hold them out in the last 5 minutes or so. And it's going to have to be some more desperate defence here as the line-out is set.
Be interested to see if they go down the back again with Leroy coming around.
Let's watch it. The ball has in fact gone down the back, but it's a Royals.
Knocked on by Royals. Oh, that one for his troubles.
There's a lot of feeling between these two packs out there.
I think it might be a little bit of a grudge match from last year with the 1 point win by Royals, but they certainly, when I was walking around the crowd, they said there's not going to be no love lost today.
Never is. This will be a big push by the...
It's on again.
And that was Danellan.
Quite frankly, I think it's starting to get a little silly.
Well, it is. It's stopping, I think. I find it hard to be able to concentrate on playing the game if they're looking to throw punches out there.
Peter McPhillips has obviously decided the same. No, there's a line. Touch judge coming in.
Report on it, and this could be a blow to Dara Marlin. They had to put in with the scrum only 5 metres out. Let's see what if it comes to it. Yes, it is a blow to them. Well, some silly play allowing the niggering to continue, and it's Dara Marlin who come up with the mistake. Lee Danellan, their captain, not showing the way by example on that occasion. I was going to say that Brendan McGee might have shown them the replay of last year's grand final as a motivational tape before they got here.
I wonder if they'd need any, because nothing hurts like losing a grand final, and nothing hurts like
I don't think you really forget I've lost 3 with Ringer, and tell you what, it bites deep in the earth.
Did you win the grand final? Sorry, Steve, bring that question up.
Mate, played in 3, captain 2, and never won one. Always evaded me.
No worries. And it's a long kick down by Royals. In fact, it's a great kick, and putting pressure on now is the winger. Oh, well, how cool was Mr. Friend then? And Hoffmeyer. Elton, you get there. Is Elton? That's say it was both wingers, so I'll credit both wingers.
I've heard some good reports about Phil Ouchin. They say he's a good winger. He's good defensive.
There it is.
He's a good winger. He's a very strong runner. He doesn't use a fend or any subtleties like that, but he does pull out of the tackle extremely strongly, and people underestimate that strength.
Well, we saw the Royals forwards under pressure. Is that a try? Well, that was close. We saw the Royals forwards under pressure a few moments ago, and now it's the Dara pack defending, so we can see just what a crucial penalty that was right up on the Royals line just a minute or so ago.
Yes, Brendan will be very upset with that lack of discipline, and it's cost him 90 yards.
Okay, let's see what the Royals backs can do as it comes across, and they've got a chance to score, but the ball's being knocked back. Royals looking for the forward drive, and they played the knock on. In fact, it was a Dara player who knocked the ball down when a real opportunity was on there for the Royals backs. They had the overlap, but that last pass was just knocked down.
This will be an interesting play. They've got a very good blind side, but the ball usually goes the other way.
And he picked it from one that looked forward to me. But play on, says the referee, and the referee's called it.
Peter Chapman, just with that earlier play by Royals, I think we picked up the wingers for Royals were wearing numbers not corresponding to the program.
Okay, fine. That helps me. So it's Alchin in 14, Hoffmeyer in 11.
And you'll notice the alignment of both back lines. You can see where the ball's going to go. This should be a trigger for the Royal back row to go straight ahead.
That's a good push by the Royals.
Good scrum by the Royals.
Play on.
They can get this back there.
Well, they've got the scrum feed. And I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding at the back of the Dara pack then.
Well, with that new rule, when you collapse in the ruck, he's got to call it up. It's a shame because I thought the ball would have come out then. There would have been a real opportunity for Royals.
Okay, let's watch which way Canane throws this. Goes to Moore. Run around, straight through. Straight through. This is good work by the Royals. They've got space on the far side. Moore gives it to Alchin. Alchin's got nowhere to go as he runs into a stack of Dara defence on the far side. Royals forward support. And that's good play by Royals, putting the pressure on Dara showing they might be underdogs today.
Well, Dara got the bigger pack, but surely Royals are putting some pressure on them in those scrums. You can see them in the front row buckled, and they've nearly scored from that opportunity.
It's a good run by Clark.
Clarky, very elusive runner. They've got to watch him carefully. The only thing he's got to make sure he doesn't do is come back inside too often.
Well, the ball was almost taken over the line. That was bad luck. That was John Ross who had it clutchingly so close to his hands.
Interesting to see that Royals have minimised their kicking so far in this game, letting the ball spread.
They put some pressure on Dara scrum here, there'll be trouble.
Well, who would have you thought would have the power in the scrummaging?
Well, there's not a great deal in it. I think Dara got the weight. Hello. Matt Rainey's got his mate up on the shoulder there.
Well, showing a lot of coolness under pressure to throw a pass in your own end.
Spectators that you must remain behind the fence, please.
And he's just been spoken to.
On the ground, retire behind
Craig Norton.
Thank you.
Craig asked him to please never throw a pass like that again. As Royals drive towards the Dara try line. We're going to see the first points in the match. It's Dara in control. They go down the blind side.
The Royals have got to convert this into points if they got the game being going now 25 minutes.
I think the wind's blowing directly across field, isn't it? It's not really favouring anyone. It's going from corner to corner maybe. So I think Dara have got to get some points on the board while they've got that wind behind them.
It's just that while they're in that corner, Royals have had now at least 3 line-outs and 2 scrums, and they've got to convert it into something.
That was some good work by Danone then. In the end, it's counted for naught.
Matt Rowney will be looking again to try. I know he's going to see how they're putting.
Moore. Quick ball to Clark. Ball thrown to no one. But here's a chance for Royals. Has he got the pace to go all the way? Oh, great covering tackle. Craig Morton special. He did it against the All Blacks last year. Covers wing from wing, and he's very strong. Well, that was certainly it was a great tackle, and it was on Greg Quinn, who really stood him up, tried to run around him. I thought he might have had the pace, but as you said, a great tackle.
Craig Morton's got to be one of the best broken through runners in rugby, and there's some, if he's given the opportunity.
Here's the replay of it now. Now there's the chance. He's got the pace, sets him up. He's beaten the centre. He certainly can't beat.
Good ball and no tackle from there.
Well, it was the tackle or it was the try. And it was the tackle.
Not good news for Dara Mullen at the moment there, Peter. Lee Donnellan down receiving attention.
Well, Lee just be giving a bit of a breather, I think.
Yeah, it'd be fairly hot up there today. The sun's shining down here in Canberra. So it'd be fairly hot on the big boys.
And those black jumpers, I still believe, pull the heat in.
I used to play in the red and black jumpers at Coffs Harbour Rugby Union side. They won the grand final up there on the far north coast again this year. I was fortunate enough to win one when I was up there.
That's funny, Peter. Gentlemen, I lived up in Grafton for I think about 18 months and played for Grafton. But the side was the Grafton All Blacks then. It was a knuckle and bunch of hoods together. It was a good team actually.
Yes, well, Grafton and Coffs Harbour were the old foes up in that area of the wood. And rugby supporters who were up that way call into the Coffs Harbour Rugby Club, and you're sure to be greeted with a friendly smile. All right, it's 0-0 here at Manuka in a game that has been seesawing from one end of the field to the other. Royals have had the pressure on Dara Mullen for the last 5 or 10 minutes since we saw one mistake from Dara Mullen when they were attacking on the Royals line. Well, Dara Mullen pushed them out to about 30 metres now, but it's the feed to the Blues.
Johnny Ross well caught there by the flanker. It's well done by Foxy.
Well, I think Dara Mullen might have got themselves out of trouble with that nice piece of work at the back of the scrum, because they've got the feed and they've now got the opportunity to clear it out of their own territory. I don't think they'll muck around with it. I think the ball will go straight down for a ball. For your instructions?
Yes, I'm sure they'll want to get it right out of there, and they've got the man to do it with Adam Fenn.
I thought, the back row for Royal should have passed it to the halfback because they wore him round a little bit, and it was the wrong side to really run. He should have given that to his halfback, and they would have cleared it and put a burn up. He really ran at the wrong opportunity. Bit of back chatting.
Well, we saw undisciplined play from Dara Mullen, which put them under pressure, and now Royals are under pressure because of some undisciplined play. They collapsed the scrum, and then there was some chat. Back to the referee, and Phillips has certainly cost them 40 yards. That's right, and he's having to come down with a hard hand because of the early niggling tactics of both teams. The Royals throw him, but Dara Mullen come up with it. They got plenty of men back out there. No one's deep as the ball comes across to Fullerby. Can he make a break? He's through the first tackle. He's still going. Oh, great run by Fullerby. It's a good runner from broken play, and he continues to look for support. And Dara Mullen with the chance, but Royals have come up with the ball from the ruck. Dara Mullen rip it back off them as Donnellan goes towards the line. He throws it back, but it's scooped up by one of the Royals forwards, by Roach, the captain of the Royals pack, and then goes out to Penny, who kicks for the sideline. That's a great kick. Great kick under pressure.
I think the Royals might have getting frustrated because they're running around with all this ball and no points are getting put on the board, so they're starting to get a little bit frustrated with themselves, and that's when you start to get the mistakes coming in.
Royals will also be a bit disappointed. Their whole idea to counter the height of the Dara Mullen tag has been a quick throw, and I'm sure they're not paying attention. They lost that last quick throw because they weren't paying attention.
And Dara Mullen about 30 metres or so out. And they've got this ball across the back line. Fullerby once again. Milton, ball goes loose, not gone. So they've lost the opportunity already, Dara Mullen. The scrum will be set midfield. Royals to feed. I think that last passage we saw before the line out on the far side was the best piece of rugby we've seen in the game so far.
Just wondering what it is about these footballs. There's 2-3 weeks in a row now people are having trouble handling the ball, and I'm just wondering if it's the paint on it, because there's a lot of drop ball from some very good footballers. And this ball's been allowed to run back there by a friend. He kicks for the sideline. Interestingly enough, that's the best bit of chasing I've seen from Royals for some years. They've, in the last few games, have not bothered to chase those kicks downfield. Tim Thurman has obviously had something to say. The ball's been dropped in the middle of nowhere for Royals, but they've got the ball. Can they consolidate? It's good work by Didier. Still, Didier with the ball now, lays it back to his forwards, but there was no forwards there to lay it back for. And the ball's been kicked downfield. There's plenty of pressure on it. Looks like it'll go too far. He's back there, he'll force it. He's already forced it. Good play there, just picking up yardage. Without any great trouble by kicking it downfield.
I remember playing against the Yellows there. Yeah, they try little tricks too, like you chase them and try to chase them and put the ball down the top of their boot, you know, and they tell the referee before the game they're going to do it. You think they've actually forced it, and they haven't, all of a sudden they've taken off and ran with halfway down the pitch. Yeah, gee, I don't believe it.
Well controlled by Dara Manuka. Just a field goal attempt. It goes off the back of the Royals player, so Dara Manuka forwards are on side. Lay back for them. Millen's got it. And here's a field goal attempt. It's to the left of the post.
He's tried to win his penalty between them.
All right.
I think he got him for offside then, but I think they're getting a bit over anxious.
Yeah, Phil Olsen coming up in the centres there. But this will be a gift, 3 points. Here it is now.
And like you said before, you know, they haven't been renowned for chasing or chasing the kicks, and maybe they get a little bit overzealous and going over the top a bit.
Adam Friend, the first chance to put some points on the board from the place kick. A penalty, a fairly easy one. You're going to start your kicking. This is probably one you'd like. About maybe 28, 30 metres out, straight in front. Steps to the right of the ball. You hear the cheers by Dara Malan supporters if it's over. And the flags are up. So we've got a scoreline here at Manuka. It's 3 points to nil. Dara Malan, the minor premiers, in front in the ACT Grand Final and the Building Society Grand Final.
Championship. Runner-up to Boris Becker last year, Edberg went one better this time, beating the American in straight sets.
Face-to-face, Stefan Edberg holds the honours 10-4 over the American, but Brad Gilbert has the advantage in finals. The stylish and sophisticated Swede proved why he proudly wears the number 1 tag, and why he wasn't about to shed it. Edberg immediately swung into his familiar mode, breaking Gilbert twice in the first set, taking it ever so casually, 6-2. Gilbert struggled to find space and timing. The Swede pinned him down, breaking the first 2 services to go 4-love up early in the second set. The American's third ace finally put him on the board. The story was written. Already Edberg's name virtually engraved on another tournament trophy. The signs were ominous. Not only was Gilbert's serve being broken, so was he. And he had the perfect remedy to end the misery. In the third set, Edberg took advantage of Gilbert's poor service again. Even luck overlooked the American. Brad Gilbert didn't give up, holding Stefan Edberg off 6 times on match point. But the cool Swede continued to touch up on his game. The end was nigh. Stefan Edberg went on to collect the $155,000 check.
American Meg Mallon is $125,000 richer today after winning the World Championship of Golf in Cairns. Mallon shot a 2-under-71 to beat compatriot Dottie Mockery by 5 strokes. Corinne Dibnar, the only Australian in the field, finished a disappointing 8th.
Starting the final round with a 2-shot lead, Mallon made 2 early birdies to put one hand on the title. At the 11th, the US Open and PGA champion demonstrated her superior short game.
Get in. I don't believe this. That's fantastic.
A momentary challenge emerged from Dottie Mockery, who moved within 3 of the leader.
Yes!
But putting confidently for another birdie at the 12th, Mallon bolted to an invincible 5-shot advantage.
And it was in all the way, and she knows it too.
In easier conditions today, Julie Inkster fired the best round of the day at 3 under 70 to jump from 9th to 3rd.
Fantastic.
First round leader, Danielle Amakapani, suffered the anguish of golf to drop out of contention.
Look out. And then water down there, yep.
But a brilliant recovery at the 18th enabled her to hold on to a share of 3rd.
What a miracle!
A disappointed Mockery finished at 2 over to take 2nd place. But the only player from the top 16 who tamed the unforgiving course over 3 days was 28-year-old Mallon. Voted the US Professional Sportswoman of the Year, Mallon's 4th tournament victory of 1991 earned her $125,000 and the title of World Champion.
A handful of the nation's most promising young cricketers look set to gain international test selection. Some of the established stars are expected to fall by the wayside when the Australian Cricket Board announces the new player contract list.
According to national coach Bob Simpson, Australian cricket is extremely healthy and will only improve. Testimony to that is the plethora of talent around the country pushing for Australian selection. As a result of recent efforts during the Australian B team's tour of Zimbabwe, 4 young prospects have been rewarded. Outstanding batsman Michael Bevan from New South Wales and Queenslander Stuart Law, as well as South Australian paceman Dennis Hickey and Victorian Paul Rifle, were asked to join the Australian squad for their pre-season fitness camp in Adelaide. For the quartet, it was a chance to find out what's required of an Australian Test cricketer. And for Stuart Law, it's what he expected.
Yeah, and a little bit more, I think. It's very intense. The guys like AB and Bobby Simpson, they know exactly where they're aimed, and it's just for them to instill it into us. And being a newcomer to the squad, we've got to learn that all over again. So it's a good learning process.
The Australian Cricket Board will on Wednesday announce changes to its contracted players list, and it's almost certain that the names Law, Bevan, Hickey and Rifle will be added. Bob Simpson says with the abundance of talent now available, there's even more pressure on the regular Australian players to hold their spot.
We wouldn't be blooding players for the sake of blooding, but on the other hand, there's some positions within the structure of the team where, things could change and players could force their way in.
Cricketing authorities in Australia are confident that the moves they're now making will ensure continued success in the summers ahead.
That's the day in sport. Angela.
Thanks, Mark. And now here's David Elliott with the weather.
Thank you, Angela. Good evening, everyone. Very summery temperatures around New South Wales today, especially around Sydney, where the maximum reached 33 degrees, which is 12 over the average for this time of the year. The cool change, which was due this afternoon, is held up. It'll now push through overnight. Tomorrow, therefore, will be cooler, but it's still likely to be dry. Ultraviolet reading for Sydney today, 1.6, down a little on yesterday's reading due to the high cloud that moved in. With a cool, gusty southwesterly change overnight, tomorrow will be cooler for Sydney, maximums around 24 to 25. A dry, sunny day is expected. Rainfall overnight and today was mostly in the far northeast and southeast corners, though in fact the top fall overnight was 17 millimetres at Mount Boyce in the Blue Mountains from a thunderstorm. Top today was 2 millimetres at Bombala. Top temperature 34 degrees a couple of spots, not much ahead of Sydney's top reading. Temperatures around the regions tomorrow, a little down on today's as the winds swing towards the south. On the general New South Wales outlook, the cooler winds will be spreading through the state right up into the top northeast corner. Strong winds are forecast over south coast waters and gales in the southern highlands. Ahead of the change, some thunderstorms and then some possible showers in the southeast corner. ACT has a risk of a few showers, thunderstorms overnight, but a dry sunny day tomorrow. Northern Territory, showers along the coast and Gulf and Victoria River, dry elsewhere with light winds in the north. The cloud picture today has a band of cloud ahead of the change, showing clearly up, crossing the coast near Sydney and running inland. Further cloud bands line the bight. On today's synoptic chart, the cold front bringing the cooler winds lies mid-state this afternoon. Today's very warm temperatures were due to northerly winds driven by the high out in the Tasman. Tomorrow's chart shows the first front past Sydney at 9 a.m. More fronts are lined up behind in that generally cool southwesterly airstream, and settled weather looks likely to continue as high pressure ridges through from the west. So taking a look now at the outlook for Sydney for the next 3 days, and it's not much different from the way it's been. In other words, dry weather is continuing. Temperatures down a little tomorrow after the change, but then pushing up a little as we go into the new week. That's the weather. Good night.
Thanks, David. And now a recap of tonight's top stories. Mikhail Gorbachev has matched George Bush's shock military cuts, offering to slash the Kremlin's nuclear arsenal. Among the initiatives, an immediate moratorium on nuclear tests and an end to the state of alert for Soviet heavy bombers. At least 132 people have died in an air crash in Indonesia. The military plane ploughed into army buildings in Jakarta. And more strife for the Greiner government. New South Wales Assistant Treasurer Philip Smiles is under Tax Department investigation and could face a further probe by the Department of Public Prosecutions. And that's the news to this minute. I'll be back with the mid-evening bulletin at 8:25, and we'll leave you now with the first day of Sydney's multicultural festival, Carnivale.
Next week on the 7:30 report, police on trial. A Sydney corruption purge goes horribly wrong.
We were falsely accused. If you're crook or bad luck, you deserve to go. I wasn't crook.
Anyone in the police force can be in the predicament that we've been in for the last 5.5 years. Sheer hell. I don't think you could feel that bad if someone dies.
That's next week, 7:30.
Coming up on ABC in The Most Remarkable Planet, follow the plight of the African wild dog in Running for Their Lives. Then at 8:30, True Stories takes a candid look at eunuchs, India's third gender. At 9:30, Blot on the Landscape concludes, before Rugby World Cup highlights with Gordon Bray at 10:30, featuring the match between Wales and Western Samoa, tonight on ABC.
This seems like a child to me.
G'day, Muggly.
And they did work for a while, the dogs did.
I wouldn't use the whistle. It's a giveaway. Reluctantly, we had to police the yacht.
Love them or hate them, don't miss The Wonderful World of Dogs, 8:30 Wednesday on ABC. Next on Wild Screen. People are looking around to make their money work harder, and they're finding they couldn't do better than right here. From as little as $1,000, serious investors are taking a bigger interest in CBS fixed-term investments and withdrawing their money from the bank. What could be better than the bank? At CBS, you get better than high interest because your money goes to where it counts the most. Canberra, and our own building society. You couldn't do better. The simplest way to control perspiration is not to exert yourself. Almost as simple as using Rexona's antiperspirant pump spray. A simple pump spray is a fine mist of effective protection. Just aim, press, and... Rexona antiperspirant pump spray. It simply won't let you down.
going to a break after this or straight back up to the top?
He won't let me mention it.
You see the band moving round a double-decker bus. We've just seen an interesting happening. A skipper across the field.
How long? I've got 2 minutes.
I didn't recognise him. He was running away from me. You viewers back at home, I know you wouldn't have liked to see the streaker run across the field. It wasn't male. All those at home, the coach is now giving instructions to the players. What would you be saying first of all to Royals, Bob Hitchens?
Well, first of all, I think they've just got to tidy up a little bit. The delivery of the ball to the halfback has been a bit too slow, which means that by the time he's cleared it, Anthony Moore has had very few options. While he's tried to spread it wide, it hasn't come off as often as they like. If I was Brendan McGee, I'd be quite happy with the way they're going, except to say stop kicking the ball quite as much as you.
All right, well, Mike Kavanagh's down the sideline. We'll cross down to him now.
And with me is Steve Libby. Steve, 3-0 at half-time, and Royals will be going with a little bit of the wind this time. What's your impression?
I think, it's been a very scrappy match. Dara Marlin's had the majority of the ball, but they haven't really taken advantage of this wind. I think if Royals can keep it up, keep the pressure on, put some bombs up with this wind in the second half, they might get on top.
Okay, then, Steve, we'll find out what happens in the second half.
We're about to see the start of the second half. As we mentioned, the minor premiers. All right, well, we'll go to a break just before the start of the second half.
Great moments in sport from Gillette Contour Plus, the home and away VFL games of 1988. Collingwood clashes with Carlton. And during the third quarter, young Steve Silvani, the game Blues defender, takes the mark of the year over Craig Starcevich. The Woods went on to win by 23 points, but nothing can take away from Silvani's magnificent moment and this sensational display of aerial grace. Another great moment in sport from Gillette, the best a man can get.
What has an enormous screen, a digitally enhanced picture with natural color, and a surround sound system featuring 6 powerful speakers. It's the Philips Super Screen with teletext. It makes watching TV a giant experience. Stop to London. Let's get this straight. From August 31st, only one airline can fly you all the way one stop on a brand new Boeing 747-400. So if you want the fastest flight to London, make sure you're on the plane that turns up. British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
Dad, would there be any new Grandpa's farm? There might be. Why don't you give him a call? Could I?
Hello?
Matthew, what are you up to? Grandpa, you know bunyips?
Yeah, of course I do.
Well, are they freely?
Oh, no, they're very foolish bunyips are. As a matter of fact, I saw one just the other day. A terrible fight with a tiger.
Grandpa, there aren't any tigers in Australia.
Oh, but this was a Tasmanian tiger on holiday.
It doesn't take much to keep in touch.
I'm here. Welcome back to Manuka Oval. If you just tuned in this afternoon, you're watching the ACT Rugby Union Grand Final for 1989 live, brought to you by the Canberra Building Society. And I can tell you we've just had half-time. The scoreline here favours the minor premiers in 89. Dara Marlin, 3 points over Royals, who won the competition last year by just a point in the grand final over the Dara Marlin side. Well, here's a long kick back now by Dara Marlin. In the blue and white strip, Royals, kick downfield's not a good kick. And they're going to run the ball, Dara Marlin, but they can't run without legs. It's a great tackle. On fullback Friend. And the half-time stats, scrums, 7-6. And the penalties, 3-all. So there's not much in it, as the 3-0 scoreline suggests. Play on halfway.
both sides.
Use the numbers here.
They've certainly got the numbers, and they've got the runner here in Orchard. Ball's gone forward, according to the referee. Phillips.
Actually, that's a bad decision because the Dara Marlin bloke ripped that out of his hands, actually, and he's said that the Royals wingers knocked it on.
There was a chance, I thought maybe that Orchard might have been able to do a little bit more with it, Bob.
But who am I?
It's easy to referee up here, Steve. I found that out.
It's easier on the body as well, mate.
As we mentioned before, 10 grand finals, first grade grand finals in ACT. Magnificent record, the ball's been taken down. Here's a real chance for Royals on the far side now. This could be the first try of the game. In fact, it is. Anthony Hockmeyer has scored the try, and that came by a knockdown by Andrew Clark. Well, that was against the run of play, I suppose, but in the early minutes of the second half, we've seen the first try, and the try has put Royals in front. Here it is now. Watch it as it goes across. The ball was knocked down there by Clark. He's picked the ball back up again, and he's run to his winger and thrown the ball, and Hockmeyer's got plenty of pace and plenty of room to score an easy try.
It's exactly what Royals will be looking for just after half-time. It's similar to what they did in the semi-final, and it'll be exactly what Dara Marlin didn't want. But it's a long way to go, and it's still only 1 point difference.
And he's done Anthony more a favour by getting closer to the post for him to make this conversion just a little bit more easier.
Okay, Hockmeyer rang his hand to win across the line. 4 points to 3 now.
You might find both sides now starting to settle down a bit. They both scored points and they realise that just let the ball do the work, steady it down a little bit. They seem to be a little bit preoccupied with territory, which is understandable, but they shouldn't underestimate the capacity of their backs, particularly Dara Marlin. Great speed, great talent.
Anthony Moore showed in his only other attempted goal that he has got the accuracy and the height. He was too far out last time. He's about 47 metres out. He's only about 20 metres to the left of the post. Fairly acute angle though. Have to be accurate.
Bob, I was just wondering, is it a big night after the grand final?
Usually a big weekend.
It's a weekend, that's what I thought. Even Ringy, we've even lost them. We seem to have 4 days on it as well.
And as you know, Steve, the stories get better.
It's a great kick. It's a great kick by Anthony Moore. The scoreline now, 6 points to 3. Royals, underdogs for this game here today, are in front. They are the defending premiers.
Interesting here, Jeff Diddy just pumping up his forward pack and Lee Allen just calming his down, saying it's not over yet.
Well, if we're going to allow the opposition to score a try, now would be the time. We've got plenty of time left in the match, probably about 35 minutes or so to go. It goes back to Moore, who just kicked the conversion.
In some of these line-outs, one would have expected the ball to go to Cinderberry. Lee Allen's been taking it at 3.
And the advantage to Royals. So Royals with the feed. No, in fact, sorry. It's Dara Marlin with the feed, so the advantage was to Dara Marlin. McCormack defeated. It's a good push by the Royals pack though. Picked up at the back by Cox. And wait for referee McPhillips ruling on it. Feed once again to Dara Marlin. McCormack. They're looking to get the ball out to Fullerby. And they're having a little trouble holding their scrum together, Dara Marlin, through the pressure of the Royals forwards. Players all over the paddock.
Peter, I actually got a chance to talk to Brendan McGee at half-time, and he was very confident that little did he know what was going to happen in the first couple of minutes of this half, but he said provided Dara Marlin could consolidate and get into the game of playing football, he thought they could take the grand final here this afternoon.
And Dara Marlin tried to get the ball across their back line. It was a good tackle by Clark on Hall. Ball and all, he hit him.
I thought before the game that the side that could control
second phase play, obviously, is sounds like an overstatement, but really the difference is going to be whether Royals control second phase play. They're not quite getting there quick enough at the moment.
But it doesn't really seem to be flowing that much. There's not that much running in the back line, so probably that's why you're getting your cut down of his second phase ball. It's not really that much. It's just scrums, the first scrum and then a line out and a break and play. It's just there's not much running of the ball, which I think Dara should try better, especially with that centre Albert for full. How do you pronounce his name? Woolivite. He is a good player. He breaks all his tackles, and I think they've got to really play to him.
Well, I think one of the problems is that the sides are going down getting off their feet too quickly, and Peter Phillips, as the law requires, is blowing it up. If they could stay on their feet, we'd see a completely different game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not flowing. Like you said, they seem to be going down a lot, and it's causing a lot of scrums. You've only got to look at the scrum count already. It's you've got 8 on the Dara side, and 9. This will be 9 for Royals. So there's a lot of scrums, really.
The thing that's got me really intrigued is Darren are continuing what they've done all the year with a 5'8" standing very, very still, letting the ball go and letting the centres hit the ball up hard. But each of them are taking the ball just a bit further up and getting knocked down, and maybe just need a yard of extra room.
Well, this ball should go to Moore to clear downfield. They could make a liar of me and throw it to Penny instead, and that's the way they go. No, it goes to the centre, and now it goes to Penny. And he drills the ball for the sideline along the ground.
Good kick.
It shows you don't always have to hoist it high and long. Look at the accuracy of that kick. It was a great kick. Here it is on the head on. Just drops it onto his toe and his right foot. And the ball runs to the sideline.
6 Dara should run this because Phil Alson's dropped back to cover the kick.
He's got to get the ball first. They've got it. One of the ball's forwards is way offside. Here's the chance, full of eye, and this is a good run. He's straight through, tries to get the ball back. With full of eye, and the ball's gone downfield. Penny. And he pins it to the sideline. A good kick too. Takes it right back up to almost halfway.
Once again, I'd like to see the outside centres calling for the ball, and they know they've got the numbers there, and they have the numbers down there.
Tell you what, it'd be hot in those red and black jumpers.
Yes, it'll be second in the heating.
Could be one of the hottest days we've had all season.
Once again, to see Legion Allen up there winning that ball.
There's a little bit of niggling going on at the back of the line between the two back rows. They seem to be pushing and shoving.
Balls to feed.
Again, you notice the deeper line of the winger. This time Royals should run it because the winger's dropped back. Quick hands would make life very uncomfortable for that winger. Morton's going to cover it up.
I didn't take your advice, Bob. I decided to kick it instead, but it's not a bad kick from Anthony Morton.
No, look at the yards, that's all it is.
I heard a bad rumour that Manuka had 6-3.
It's opening up the old right land. We do.
In your little 3 grand finals, tell him you want me to buy him a coat.
Okay, Royals with a chance now, and they've scraped the ball back out of this, and he puts it up high. Doesn't quite look well, has the depth in the kick. The ball's bouncing all over the place, playing with basketball. In the centre, they can bring it to the right. And Royal leaves up the ball, Royals to me. And then make a liar of me. Dara has come up with it through the strength of their forwards, and the ball's cleared out. Penny can't get to the ball on the full, and he has to allow it to bounce over the sideline.
That's Craig Norton once again made some very good yardage with the kick. He's played very well back there.
He is playing very well. With blood in the forehead.
So how many years have these two teams played together in the grand finals?
This is their 6th year.
Together.
I do believe that the Royal side has only lost something like 4 first-grade games in 3 years.
Not many. I think it's more than 3 or 4 this year. I think they only lost 1 last year, and certainly in previous years they've gone through under 30. It's a great record, and the Royals club should be very, very proud of their 4 grades. That's no mean achievement. 4 premiers last year, 4 grand finals this year. It's a terrific effort.
Like the Ramwick of Canberra.
Yes.
Makes me sick every time I look at their stats.
Moore's put it up high. Friends in beautiful position, but he's dropped the ball. Royals might come up with another try. He's almost there. Let's leave it to the referee as Royals forwards charge at the ball. Well, how close was that?
He picked up the ankle crack because it was only
just clipped him. Let's have a look at it on the replay. They've got an injury, a Dara Marlin injury, probably a good time to have one too, as they're under enormous pressure.
You'll see here that the Royals player had no intention on going for the ball. He hit Adam Friend as he was standing there for the ball, and good backup play there by the Royals backs to clean up.
Certainly it looked like Andrew Clark was going to go all the way.
Just lost his footing there.
Just goes to show, Bob, with the old rules, where it didn't matter whether you stayed on your feet, there would have been a try on there. But with that new rule that's come in, that if you don't stay on your feet, he's got to put down a scrum, and the Royals have got the feed. So hopefully they can convert this into some points.
Knowing Royals, I think they'll be going for the push.
Daniel Michael Captain says that the forwards coming through, the Royals players did not go for the ball when Adam Friend was set to take it. Our director might be able to give us another replay of that incident.
What did you do, Steve? You're a back row. I know you're a back row.
I always played to the Royals, Bob. You know that.
Well, here it is from the head on. We'll be able to have a good look at it. Now watch, did he go for the ball? Well, he's right behind the goalpost, wouldn't we know it? But how close is that? He tried to curve back towards the post. Maybe he might have been better to run out towards the corner and try and step around him. It's easy to say in hindsight.
I think he just flung his hand out and grabbed hold of his jersey and, made it look like he didn't have the ball. But, we've only been a split second in. It's very hard for a referee to decide that. So, I think he's done the right thing by just letting the play run on.
Well, he certainly has, because Royals now have the opportunity to put another try on the board. They are right on the line. Now watch for it. This is a good push. There's plenty of pressure in the pack, and here's a chance for the halfback on the right-hand side. Goes himself the lock. It's a try. That is a great try. John Ross has scored for Royals.
Well, that's funny from the Dara Marlin back row. They got the push back. They probably should have come off the side of the scrum there, and they hung off that number 8. They kind of thought he was going to pass it to the halfback, and you look, they hang off him. One went low, but
One off the line. There's no decision to make, is there?
Here's a good view from our head-on camera, which is right in line with that scrum. There's plenty of pressure in that scrum, I can tell you. Royals controlled it, and Ross not going to stop him that
I'll give Ross credit there. He's got underneath Foxy there. Very low.
Yeah, he's tried to come in real low, and with a yard out, you won't stop him there.
22 years of age is probably one of the most important tries he's scored in his life.
Well, Johnny Ross played extremely well last week. I know he was disappointed to miss out on the Wallaby side, as was Jimmy Taylor. So maybe he's trying to prove some of the selectors to change their thinking.
Well, Dara Marlin with it all in front of them now as Anthony Moore attempts to make it 2 out of 3. He's virtually right in front of the posts. Should be an easy conversion. Dara Marlin is a little bit anxious to try and knock the ball down. And there's the conversion, so the scoreline moves on to 12 points to 3. Dara Marlin, who've ruled the premiership this season, have got to go all in front of them. They have put the pressure on them now.
But do you think Dara Marlin can come back from the 12-3
games? They'll pull the final whistle as they knew last year, I think, Steve, and they've still got striking power there. But really, let the ball do the work. There's still too much static play.
Well, the Dara Marlin forwards are really going to have to lift themselves. I thought that the Royals forwards have been playing better than them from the opening of the second half. Royals are going to dig deep now.
They're staying together well, the Royal forward.
Yep. That's a crucial knock.
Terrible play from
Michael Roach, the captain. I'll be hoping referee Phillips was looking the other way. He certainly wasn't.
I think Dara will go for it from this time.
They have to really attack now. They have to use these backs full of high. This is another good push by the Royals. Forwards, great side here, and under enormous pressure. As I said, the Royals forwards are certainly getting on top now.
Johnny Ross did very well to stay on his feet there.
Are they going to run this ball? Should have possibly kicked it though. Nowhere to go for his winger, Olchin. Well, they should come up with this ball, or at least the key to the scrum, and they do.
It's like the Royals play, they'll tight, over the top.
Royals forwards are certainly putting it to their more fancied rivals in this forward exchange. When you're niggling in the first half, neither forward pack really did anything. In the second half, it's all Royals at the moment. He's more kicks for the open side to his winger over there, Hoffmeyer. And Hoffmeyer's got pace, but the ball will run across the sideline. They're looking at the gaps out wide.
That's a good kick by Anthony Moore. You could see that they were bunched up the Dara Marlin backs, and he had to get away over the head of the winger there and go for touch. If he didn't go for touch, I think the Royals winger might have a chance of getting hold of that.
I was intrigued with that defensive alignment of back when they stand so close, because I think a couple of quick passes have got the ball outside them.
Okay, he's going to go. No, he's not going to go for a field goal. He's going to hoist it high. It's an up and under. We saw a try virtually come from the up and under last time, but we're not going to see one this time. There's
Craig Norton missed it, but Coolivai picked it up.
And Royals get the scrum right in front.
Look at the blind side here.
Well, I'd be going for the field goal here, Bob.
Well, he's
going for the try.
Right, go for the try. Well, Anthony Moore's standing directly behind the scrum here. I think he might see a field goal on here.
Dad, I have to win this.
Yeah, he's getting himself ready for it.
It comes back to Moore, and his field goal's charged down, but Royal still in possession of the ball. Picked up by Penny, he's thrown to the ground. Ball comes out to the Royals all round the legs. Good tackle, but the referee's whistle had already gone. Neil grabbed hold of Canay just as he was attempting to kick the ball. Blind side, clearing kick, and a good kick too by Adam Friend. Haven't seen much of Adam Friend in the second half. A couple of field goals is what they need. A couple of tries more to the point.
Intelligent kick that, because Petey was playing very deep and they just popped it a little bit in front of him diagonally.
Not in straight.
Numbers in the line out.
Numbers. Thanks, Bob.
This is the first penalty of the second half for Dara. She put it out.
Long kick. Unlucky not to get the sideline, and this is an even longer kick back. That's a great return kick.
He hits the ball well. Penny's as long a kicker as anybody. He's just a little inconsistent.
We saw that in the first half.
That was a lovely kick.
They've got their boots on now. And Dara Marlin need to have their running boots on. They're down 12 points to 3 in this grand final. Brought to you live by the Canberra Building Society from Manuka Oval. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. First half may be a little bit scrappy, but the second half certainly.
I don't interview Singlebury a great deal, Steve. I don't interview Singlebury a great deal at 4 in the Dara Marlin line-out.
No, well, I heard a lot about him before the game. I said he's a good player, and haven't seen much of him.
Great play, Adam Friend.
Because surely the Dara Marlin forwards are a lot bigger in the line-out, and they really haven't taken that to advantage. Royals haven't really put on that many short line-outs, so I think it's just a lack of keenness or something.
Well, here's their chance now, but as Bob Hitchcock said, it was a great move by by friend, but he crooked. And it certainly was. That was about 5 yards to the left.
That's a bad decision in that place to have a short line out, because you're always going to have that area of doubt with a long trailer. That was crooked. Now they've got the scrum going on.
Well, here's Dara and they need points. They're down by 9 in the grand final. They've got the ball now. It's a set move. Oh, the ball was almost intercepted. It's play on, says the referee. They've got a bit of room out wide as the two wingers hook up. Dara going for the try line. The ball chipped over the top. It's a good bounce though for Penny. Well, some good enterprising play from the wingers. Penny and Morton.
Get a Dara player down there in agony by the looks of it.
I think he's badly winded. There's a run around they tried in the centre. That went awfully wrong. It was almost the intercept and would have been a try up the other end.
There's nothing worse than being winded either. You feel like you're going to die.
You can't breathe.
It's Craig Hall, one of the centres.
There is a term for what it feels like to be winded.
And you should live with Ricky Stewart. And when you're not looking, he gives you those little rabbit punches. It's usually when you got a mouthful of Cocoa Pops.
Well, you're an interesting flat partner in Ricky Stewart there.
And Perry Smith.
Perry Smith, the reserve grader for the Canberra Raiders. Their big game tomorrow.
Yeah, mate, all the best to them. It'll be a big week next week if they beat South tomorrow.
Certainly will, and it'll be a big week for the winners of this game. At the moment, Royals doing it well, 12 points to 3. Live telecast from Manuka Oval in Canberra. The ACT 89 grand final.
Was Craig Hall the player down, but obviously he's back on his feet now.
Yes, he copped a heavy tackle in that move. It's a long, raking drop kick. You're going to see an attempted field goal. That's a long way out if he was going to, but it's a shot for the sideline. It's a good kick too. Bad bounce for Penny. He had to jink to get back to the ball, but he replies with a great kick of his own.
Penny's got to get a little bit more involved in the back line. He was a great broken field runner. Haven't seen him really run with the ball today.
There really hasn't been that much running of the ball by either side, has there?
I'd like to see, as I say, I've just got to let it flow a little bit wide. 4 good wingers from the outside centre.
Plenty of pace, haven't they? Every one of them. Well, Darren Marlin supporters starting to get a little bit edgy on their seats. I'd like to see the Red and Blacks come up with the ball out there. And working hard is Denali.
Leroy, he's got his hands on it. They won't take it off him. Yes, they will. No, it stops.
This is a good move. This is a good push. And they've come up with the ball. What are they going to do with it? The Darren Marlin backs. They put a shocking kick through. Went to Anthony Moore. And Anthony Moore gets picked up. And his white boots get thrown to the turf. This will be a Royals ball, but the play's been called up by Mick Phillips.
He got the ball. Royals have got the ball.
Well, that was an absolutely nothing kick, that one. A little chip kick over the top. Give yourself a chance to get that ball back. You don't know where it's going to bounce. Or spin the ball around. You can't score if it's not in your hands.
Very quiet in front of us. I think our commentary box is above the Darren Marlin supporters and very quiet at the moment.
I do think there's more Darren Marlin supporters here at the ground. Hoping to see a reverse of last year's grand final victory to Royals. Friend under pressure now as the ball runs towards the goal line. And he probably will force it.
And very good chasing by Royals, Bob, today. It was 4 chases then.
Much better.
Putting a lot of pressure on them. They get the ball back now from the 25, so.
Well, they haven't chased well, but today is a different story.
And then I'll tell a lie, the 22.
This is it.
Kicks for nowhere, actually. And we might do a replay of that whole incident. But if you're up by 9 points, well, it's going to chew up a few minutes. I'd like to see a quick 22 now. Darren Marlin's really got to start to get a move on. It's a short kick. We've got a replacement on the sideline too.
Roach did well to take the ball there.
Richard Keeley with a replacement down there.
Not yet, Peter. There's a bit of concern for Craig Morton. You can see the blood streaming out of his right brow there. The doctors there, they're going to try and stitch it up and keep him on the paddock.
Well, hopefully he's not going to stitch it up while we're watching. coward when it comes to blood. I'm sure most of our viewers back at home are too. But Morton's been playing it hard and tough out there.
A good game, Craig. He saved a certain try on one occasion and he kicked extremely well for the...
It was a fabulous tackle from him, wasn't it?
You're handing out the points for the tackle of the match. That's the one so far. Dara Marlin, no matter how many good tackles they make, it's the score at the end of the day.
So again, the ball's gone over Singlebury's head. And I would have thought that was one they would have really wanted him to win.
Yeah, there's a Lewis class offside. We've seen too many penalties here today, which has been surprising.
Well, actually, it's 4-3 in favour of Dara at the moment. Oh, in my books, anyway.
For me.
I might be a little bit biased, you never said. Might be adding little circles on.
It's an interesting fit.
I don't think they quite went where they were looking for. It's a long kick. Great kick. Nice kick. Magnificent.
Take a bow.
I tell you what, it's becoming a duel between these two fullbacks as to what side has the superiority. The kicking of Penny and Adam Friend. Penny's in front at the moment.
We need a game breaker though, and I think it's either Fullavoy in the centres for Dara Marlin or even Penny in at fullback for Royals, who could really come through and score a try.
Well, I think it'll get to the stage where Dara will have to start running the ball, you know. We're going to have to get points on the board, so they're going to have to start running. We might see a little bit of flying football, which would, be good. It's a little bit stereotype at the moment between the fullbacks, just kicking for field position.
Well, Royals have come up with the ball from this lineup. Run out and they've got a chance. Moore spins it out.
Great tackle by Fullavoy.
Another good tackle, and the ball's put on the toe by Friend. Royals holding on now, but Fox has got the ball. Blown up. And it will be a Dara Marlin scrum. Okay, we'll go to a break now. Scoreline here, 12 points to 3 in favour of Royals.
Catch the fun of Australia's favourite hour. Delivering the right stuff every time.
Water races mean you got a wet envelope.
Well, how come when I get my electricity bill, I get a bit of a shock?
Kylie gets bowled over by special guest, Merv Hughes.
You have played like so many tests. When am I going to let you play like a proper match?
Colin shares a special celebration.
The wedding of my daughter Sula.
And Baby takes control.
Boss, that's a stick, moron.
The Comedy Company, Sunday night, 7:30 on 10.
People are looking around to make their money work harder, and they're finding they couldn't do better than right here. From as little as $1,000, serious investors are taking a bigger interest in CBS fixed-term investments and withdrawing their money from the bank.
What could be better than the bank?
At CBS, you get better than high interest because your money goes to where it counts the most. Canberra, and our own building society. You couldn't do better.
Drive into the 90s with a friend. You got a friend who can enjoy your time. The kind of service that never ends. You got a friend who can enjoy your time. You know you can depend on us. Our reputation's built on trust. Take the wheel, Canberra Toyota. Better deal, Canberra Toyota. Oh, what a feeling.
Canberra Toyota.
There are airlines that fly one stop to London. Let's get this straight. From August 31st, only one airline can fly you all the way one stop on a brand new Boeing 747-400. So if you want the fastest flight to London, make sure you're on the plane that turns up. British Airways, the world's favourite airline.
Dad, would there be any new grandpa's farm? There might be. Why don't you give him a call? Could I?
Hello? Matthew, what are you up to?
Grandpa, you know bunyips?
Yeah, of course I do.
Well, are they funny?
Oh, no, they're very foolish bunyips are. As a matter of fact, I saw one just the other day. A terrible fight with a tiger.
Grandpa, there aren't any tigers in Australia.
Oh, but this was a Tasmanian tiger on holiday. It doesn't take much to keep in touch.
Well, we've got a line out right on halfway. Scoreline here in the grand final, 12 points to 3. Royals, underdogs for this game, even though they were the defending premiers of 1988. They're in front. Dara with it all to do. Whether they've got enough time left in this match, no. As we see Dara come up with an attacking raid. One of the few times they've really swung the ball out into their back line. Every time they have looked dangerous, and this is one of the players responsible for that. Fullaby gets the ball back beautifully, but a good tackle across by John Ross. Ball still in field of play. It's out now. So we did see some movement from the Dara backs, but no real penetration ball pitch.
No, I think they've got to really start opening it up a little bit. And on the other hand, Royals have also got to not go to sleep and think they've got it won, because they haven't.
9 points the difference. A good run by Fox. Oh, great run by Fox, and he's got support from the Dara forwards. He was offside.
He should be penalised for that.
Well, there was a chance for Dara A little bit of...
Couldn't have pulled it unsighted. He was running around the far side of it.
The old saying goes, if you can get away with it.
Yes, that's exactly right. That was John Ross who got away with it. Watch it. This is the replay, and it was a good move by Fox. Ball goes back. Well, offside, Mr. Ross, but it doesn't matter because the referee didn't see it. Dara need points, and they need them now. Down the blind side.
This is what they need, some forward rushes and then a quick ball to the back.
The backs are set deep. Jamillan comes into length support.
Length support or length to leather? One or the other.
We were standing in the 5-8 situation. I was just wondering what he was doing out there. Actually, in fairness to Milne, has tried his heart out today.
Actually, I haven't seen any seagulls flying around Manuka, so nobody thought he was a bit of a seagull staying out there.
There was an injury.
You mustn't go too conservative, Royals. The last two plays have cost them something like 75 yards because they tried to kick into the corner there, lost the subsequent line out, and now look where they are. Alternatively, Dara have got absolutely nothing to lose, and they can afford to throw it around and even make the odd mistake.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I think at some stage of this match they're going to look up at that clock and think, well, if we don't start doing something now, we don't start having a run. I know the captains look at the clock, and you might see a little bit of running football.
Well, that's the first real piece of football I've seen from the Dara forwards in the second half. It's been all Royals, and that's why they've been going so well. Their forwards have been controlling it. They've been coming up with the ball for them.
Well, every scrum they've had, Bob, they've put pressure on the Dara scrum. Like they've gone up in the front row a fair bit, so, there must be a formidable pack doing a lot of practice on their scrummaging by the looks of it.
They take great pride on their work, Jimmy and Jeff and Matt.
Oh, look at this push from Royals. Oh, enormous. Well, enormous. If Royals do get away with this match today, they can pat every one of their forwards on the back because they've really put up a great performance against this Dara pack.
There's nothing better than, when an opposition team's in your court and they've got the feed and the front row pushes them up and over the ball and you get a tight head. It's places like that you really need to do that sort of stuff, and like you said, they need a pat on the back of these Royal forwards. They've just been going tremendous.
Some of the Dara blokes be wondering if it's the final revisited, because that's what happened in the last 10 or 15 minutes. The forwards started to retire a little bit.
Well, we've got to dig deep to their reserves now, Dara. Cinderberry gets up high, and Dara backs now with a chance to attack. It's Fullaby offloads, and here comes Fullaby, and he's got the pace to go with it. Look at him go for the try line. Fullaby, try! Great football. You said he was silk, and that was a silk run. A great football.
But I said they've got to play to their strengths as Dara side, and every time he's had the ball, he's busted the tackles, and it just goes to show, give him a bit of a lever, and he's going to come up with points.
Well, here it is on the replay. Watch it. Call it for a Steve Lidbury. Here goes Fullaby.
Yeah, he breaks out of that tackle. That's a pretty right attempted tackle. Look at the strength of him. He just right stretches out. Great try.
So that is one of the best individual tries I've seen in the Rugby Union Grand Final for a number of years.
That's a very strong try, isn't it?
He's a very, very strong bloke, and he's got great speed. You'll notice here too, he's one through Feeney, bounced out, and watch the way he just stretches in one hand. Great stuff.
He's a match breaker.
That's a copybook try, I think.
Well, you said they needed a match breaker, and you've pinpointed Boulevard as being one of them. Has it all come too late? This is a very important conversion attempt, and it's gone to the right of the post. So the scoreline remains 12 points to 7. And Royals converted try. Don't waste any time. Yes, there's now only 5 points in the match.
This will be a test of nerve here, because the first side that goes conservatively will lose the game, I believe. I think the both sides have got to just open it up and have a go.
I don't think you'll see Dara go conservatively. They've really got to start to spin it out.
Here again.
Almost got the full of eye. Fox is out there in the back line. Gets it to Morton, and Morton kicks it downfield, but unfortunately for the kicker, it goes straight into the hands of Penny. Back down to Friend. Friend off his left foot, and a great kick. Well, I thought they would have gone a bit further down, but I'm on the sideline.
Here we go, short line out again.
Royals to feed. Not long to go in this game. Almost a penalty. Darren for supporters calling for the penalty. But it was not to be. Oh, well tackled and Murray. Charging run from Johnson.
It's one thing 5'8" when front rowers and second rowers break from the north.
They just suddenly emerge too. They all of a sudden just appear. This man Mountain. Okay. Darren Marlin. And good pressure by the Royals backs.
Looks like they are right down to the wire. It's nothing in it.
Royals have got them in the right end of the paddock at the moment. Darren Marlin got to get downfield, and got to get downfield very quickly. 12 points to 7. Royals with the ball. Moore kicks it back infield. I can't understand why he kicked it there. He probably can't himself. Far side. Hoffmeyer. And it's not a good kick, so a couple of mistakes from Royals there. There was a chance by Moore to put it back in the box. There was really no one at home, but instead he slewed off his boot and went infield. Just needed a short kick over the 5/8's back.
In order for a margin for error there, keep it on the 5-yard line and have people following through, but it's cost them 50 yards.
Darren Marlin, they're up for the ball. And they're looking for a grand final victory, but a shocking pass back. And it's a penalty.
Penalty to me.
Looking at the quick tap, instead they're going to kick for the line. Great kick. You can't get a better kick than that, and that's the sort of kick you need with time running out and your side down by 5 points.
Well, I think that try's been a little bit of a vitamin pill for them. They seem to have picked up a little bit since Willow scored that try, and quick throw.
Still in trouble here.
Should run it up and put it up.
He's got to put it up high. He's going to go for the field goal. I can understand your team's down by 5 with a few minutes to go and you go for a field goal. I would have assumed he'd have put the high kick up and had his players charging through after it.
Well, that's what I thought he would have done. You know, no one really put any pressure on him. He could have taken another 10, 20 yards and put a high bomb up. It would have been what Darren Marlin needed, I think.
The Royals are breathing a sigh of relief.
Okay, Darren Marlin.
There's a good counter-attack.
Here they come. That kick is going for the sideline. Moore might have to just put it straight out. Ooh, almost charged down. It was touched by Darren Marlin. So it will be a Royals throw-in.
Royals not hurrying to get the ball.
I can understand that. This is the 1989 ACT Rugby Union Grand Final, brought to you by the Canberra Building Society. And we've got a few minutes to go, and we've got Royals in front 12 points to 5, and Darren Marlin had got the ball, but penalty has been ruled against them. Bob, did you pick up the reason for that?
No, I didn't see it.
Might have been coming through in the line out, I think, like going through.
A relieving penalty to Royals. They're clinging to this lead. They are the defending premiers. Here's a replay of it. Yes, I think you're right there. Well, Friend's got the ball, he's been able to keep it in play, and he's put it up high, and that is a good kick. Plenty of pressure on Finney, but he takes it beautifully. Referee almost in the way as Friend comes through. Dara Mullen going to come up with this ball from the ruck, and the forwards are charging through now. Danillan drops it back, try and get the ball across the backs, almost the intercept there by Clark.
I think Pooney went the wrong way that time. He had people outside. If he'd let the ball go, could have been interesting.
I don't know what's happened to this fellow over here. He was probably nowhere in the play.
Well, he was nowhere in the play, but he's down injured. We've got a couple down injured at the moment. Royals. And that was Penny. The referee's having a look at his watch. There is not long to go in this game. Dara Mullen down by 5. They were the minor premiers. They were the favourites, but this is the reason why they're not in front. Tremendous forward push by the Royals pack. Well, Dara Mullen forwards, you've got to dig deep now. You really have to hold it together. You must deliver that ball to your backs if you hope to win this grand final. They've got it this time. They've been able to hold the Royals pack. Kicks down to the blind side, and they've got 3 players here coming through. This is a great kick. The ball's sitting up. Fullerby's got it. Fullerby's knocked the ball forward. Is it a try? No try. Ball was knocked forward. Well, that was a close thing.
Come off that Dara Mullen player's hand. It was close. I thought that Willoughby was going to be able to hang on to that and give it up, but it's gone forward, and the Royals have got out of jail again.
Well, this is where they need the Dara Mullen forwards to really push now. Royals have secured it. Dara Mullen can't move them off the mark, and Royals kick the ball out only about 15 metres out from their own line. So that was a set move from Dara Mullen before. They had set their 2 centres and winger on the blind side. Kick back for them, particularly for Fullerby. His pace might have been unlucky. He ran into a player as he was coming through after the ball.
One thing you can say about the Royals pack today, they've been solid. Dara Mullen didn't even budge them an inch then on the line.
They certainly didn't. They had everything to push for. Dara Mullen have got the ball. The Royals come through on it. Oh, good work from Stuart Thomas. Notice Stuart Thomas showed no concern for safety. Dived through on the ball.
They've only just got to hang in there, Royals, and this 1989 grand final could be theirs, but they lapsed a little bit. Dara Mullen's going to take the opportunity.
It's a red and black grandstand here today, but they might be feeling blue because the Blues are in front. The ball's tapped down, and good running by the halfback, Canane. There's not long to go. I don't need to tell you that if you're a Dara Mullen supporter, or if you're a Royal supporter. Dara Mullen got the ball, driving over the top, scooped up. They'll clear it across to their backs. And the scrum will go to Dara Mullen.
There's no love lost in those rucks out there today, Paul.
I don't think, well, they'll shake hands after the game, as all rugby teams do. But wait till they play them in the first round next year.
They'll shake hands with a false smile.
Okay, well, the game's not over yet. Oh, it's a great pass, but put down. That was a magnificent pass, but Norton couldn't handle it. Well, he set the ball perfectly in front of him. It was in the perfect spot, right up in front of his chest. His hands were there, but the ball went down. Can that be the last chance? Here it is on the replay. This is a brilliant pass. There he was, and boy, wasn't that an opportunity.
Well, his ball is just in the line out. Dara Mullen knocked that on. It should be the Royals feeding that scrum. He should have brought it back to the scrum because they knocked it on. I thought he knocked it on.
Well, Royals have... well, Dara Mullen's come up with a penalty. This might be the last opportunity of the game. Dara Mullen's last throw of the dice here at Manuka Oval in the 89 grand final, 12-7. Across the backs. They're going to run it. Back to the forward, Cinderberry. Cinderberry looks for some support. They'll probably go down the blind side if they get it.
Been very quiet today, Cinderberry. I thought, at the beginning of the match, he's tallness and that, his height, thought he would have been a little bit more prominent in the line. That's but he's been very quiet. Maybe something's upset him earlier on.
Well, the ball's just spit out the back, and the ball's going loose. It's picked up and crashed to the turf was Feeney. They've come up with the ball, Dara Mullen. And here come the Royals forwards. Ball's going loose. It's cleaned up by McCormack. And we've got the hooter has gone, and that's it. It's all over. It's all over. The underdogs, Royals have won. And this is the first time they have won 3 consecutive premierships since 1964, 65, 66, and all under coach then Keith Hawke. So the scoreline here, a victory, an upset victory to Royals, 12 points to 7 over Dara in a match which didn't live up to any great heights, but certainly the second half was an entertaining one.
Well, I thought at the beginning of the match, even though Dara was a bigger side, I thought, with the heat and the conditions of today, it was going to be a tough battle, and sure enough, the Royals have worn Dara down. Like the scrummaging today has been absolutely perfect. They haven't moved backwards an inch, and it just goes to show you keep plugging away for 80 minutes, the rewards will come your way.
And with the 2 tight head victories which really showed up who should win this grand final, and the Royals forward said this grand final is going to be ours. As I said, 3 in a row now, a magnificent effort by Royals, who were beaten in the major semi-final and had to come back through, had to beat West last week. They scored a good 17 points to 0 victory, but Dara were the favourites. We'll be back in a short time to wrap up this great game, won by Royals, 12 points to 7.
The Canberra Raiders, the big team in the 89 Winfield Cup. Capital is proud to support the Raiders and to bring to Canberra our exclusive Raiders big game coverage. What you get is what you see, and you'll get all the finals action right here on Capital.
Drive into the 90s with a friend. You got a friend in the Canberra Toyota. The kind of service that never ends. You got a friend in the Canberra Toyota. You know you can depend on us. Our reputation's built on trust. Take the wheel, Canberra Toyota. Let it give Canberra Toyota. Oh, what a feeling.
Canberra Toyota.
People are looking around to make their money work harder, and they're finding they couldn't do better than right here. From as little as $1,000, serious investors are taking a bigger interest in CBS fixed-term investments and withdrawing their money from the bank.
What could be better than the bank?
At CBS, you get better than high interest because your money goes to where it counts the most. Canberra, and our own building society. You couldn't do better. How would you advertise Kellogg's cornflakes?
Well, I go on television and tell them that they're crisp and crunch and that I love them.
Kellogg's cornflakes are it. They're in, they're hip. All they need to put on is Kellogg's cornflakes. That's enough. They speak for themselves.
Something that's wholesome and something that you can rely on to get you through the day.
Simply irresistible.
Kellogg's cornflakes. The simple things in life are often the best.
Because of the yellow pages, I make a soft landing every time.
If it wasn't for Yellow Pages, I would still be under the ground.
It's amazing what you find.
There's a whole world of information in Telecom Yellow Pages. Pack in ever-ready black batteries. Ever-ready black pack full of life. Real long life. Can Gail and Paul save their marriage?
I think all of this has taken more out of you than you're prepared to admit.
And a surprise visitor to Ramsay Street.
I reckon you're a bit of a twit. And you prove it every time you open your mouth.
Neighbours.
And here we are at Manuka Oval as Royals, the 1989 first grade ACT premiers. With me, the ACT coach of this year, Bob Hitchcock. Bob, they went in as underdogs, but they didn't seem to be like it for the whole game.
What a magnificent performance by Royals. You can't take away one little thing about them. I kept my record absolutely intact by tipping the loser again, but they were magnificent Royals, and you can't take one thing away from the way they played.
Where do you think Royals actually won it then?
No doubt about up front. It was a very torrid battle, but you noticed that in the last 15 minutes, once again, the Royals forwards were getting there quicker, their scrummaging work was tighter and the push was coming, so it was one up front.
Dara Marlin didn't probably go to their strengths in their forwards, particularly with Mark Cinderbury, and then John Ross, the back rower for Royals, just did all the work all day.
Well, I can't understand why Mark Cinderbury wasn't used a little bit more, but Johnny Ross was magnificent. He was everywhere, and have a look at the TV and you'll see just how much work he did. I think Dara Marlin will be ruining the fact they didn't use Fulabai more, but that's the way it goes. If you don't play to your strengths, that's what happens. But Royals, magnificent.
The referee and the overall standard of the game, what do you think of them, Bob?
Well, like any grand final, extremely tight. The flowing rugby wasn't there that probably people like to see, but it was a very tight game, and it was contributed to by Peter McPhillips. Very low profile, penalty count very low. He did what he could to make it a good game.
And now we understand the presentation for the 1989 Premiers is about to get underway.
I'd like to introduce now Mr. David Bastian from the Canberra Building Society. David will be presenting the Canberra Building Society Rugby Competition Shield. I'd like to ask Michael Roach, the captain of Royals, to come up to receive the shield.
Thank you, David. While we're waiting for Michael to come up, I'd just like to congratulate Dara Marlin for the game that they made of this today, minor premiers, and particularly that try by Albert Fulabai towards the end, which made the game so exciting right down to the wire. But in the end, Royals day to day. Congratulations, Royal. Michael, I understand that this is your last game. Is that true? Congratulations, and I'd like to present this shield to you. Thanks very much, David. It's a great feeling to win that again. All I can say is those 15 blokes on the field gave it their all, and the result showed on the day. Just thanks will go to Kim Thurman. He believed in us even though we had a rough trot sort of halfway through the season, but we kept going, and that's what it's all about, winning on a grand final day. To our supporters, thanks very much for coming in the numbers that you have, and we've loved it. Thanks very much.
I'd like to introduce now Mr. Graham Gordon, the President of the ACT Rugby Union, who would like to present the Dent Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you all enjoyed the grand final. It was a very fitting end to a season in which both Royals and Dara Marlin had a great year. I congratulate Royals for their win today, and certainly congratulate Dara Marlin for making them fight for it all the way. Just before presenting the Dent Cup, I'd like to draw your attention to another feat today, if we can call it that. The referee of today's game, Mr. Peter McPhillips, was refereeing his 10th first grade grand final in the ACT. And Peter, if you would come to the platform, please. I'd like to congratulate Peter on your behalf. A lot of people may not realise that Peter is also a member of the Australian Test Panel of referees, and we're very lucky in ACT to have a referee of his calibre and ability with us. Peter, would you accept the small memento of today's match from the ACT Rugby Union, and we thank you for your contribution to the game here.
Thanks very much, Graham. It was certainly a very tough game there today. I congratulate Royals on their win and commiserate with Dara Marlin. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner, and it was very tight for most of the second half. So I congratulate both the teams on the spirit in which the game was played too. It's a bit testy early, but they seem to settle down after a while. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Peter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask Michael Roach if he would come back to the platform. Oh, he's right behind me. Michael, as we are told, was playing his last match today. Is that correct? Michael, as captain of Royals over the past few years, has had a great record. His team under his captaincy has had a great record too. And we congratulate you, Michael, and thank you for your contribution to rugby here. I congratulate Royals on their win today, and it's with much pleasure, Michael, that I present to you the John Ident Cup for 1989. Once again, congratulations to Royals, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. We hope to see you all here again next year.
Shortly to this, the 1989 ACT Grand Final.
An ex-lover who won't take no for an answer.
I tried to tell him it was David, but it was like talking to a brick wall.
How will Lisa react to some competition for wheels?
You wouldn't really go out with her though, would you?
All on E-Street this week on 10.
Until now, you couldn't earn interest on a bank card account. That's why ANZ has a new bank card. New ANZ bank card is a savings and bank card account in one. So, it's the first and only one to pay you interest. Like shopping directly from your savings. For more convenience and interest, new ANZ bank card will help you get there.
There are many man-made mouth fresheners, but nature makes a mouth freshener that bowls them all over. For a fresh, clean taste, naturally, attack an apple.
Brash's take-off sale is on now. Take $300 off this JVC camera with 3 lens kit and bonus tripod, now $1,699. Take $100 off this semi-automatic turntable, now $99. Take $100 off this 30-watt hi-fi including compact disc, now $999. TAC remote control video recorder, now $499. The Brash's take-off sale, on now and all weekend at Brash's Superstore.
As the Royals players are celebrating, Bob, Dara Marlin, they've got there this year having a backline like with the likes of Albert Fullerby, Craig Morton on the wing, Craig Hall at inside centre, but they didn't really play that way, did they?
No, I agree with you, and they'll probably be sitting there quietly now wondering where they lost it, and that could well be the very key to the loss. But I also think the Royals back row are the ones. Johnny Ross particularly did a tremendous job.
And I believe Peter Chapman has Brendan McGee or Kim Thurman, one of the two coaches.
Well, for every winner, unfortunately, there has to be a loser. Brendan McGee, the coach of Dara Marlin, you played so well all year, but really didn't put it together today.
Just on the day, we didn't play the right football in the game. Simple as that.
Rules forwards, you must give them a pat on the back, even though they were the opposition.
Oh yeah, they're very strong forward and they control the ball well. Just couldn't go ahead with it.
You must have been fairly confident at half-time. The side was going pretty well, and showed potential. They could have really come in with a couple of good tries.
Yeah, we were going all right, but just couldn't put together.
Well, it's Royals 2 year in a row now. You've lost the big one. As I said, you were the minor premiers this year. Must have been fairly confident before the game, but that's just the way it goes. Maybe next year for Dara Marlin?
Sure is. Next year.
Okay. Well, all the best, Brendan, and bad luck on today's game. All right, well, that's, I think we'll just about close off here from the interview stage. We'll go back to Mike Kavanagh now, who has Bob Hitchcock there. For me, I've enjoyed calling the game. Back to Mike.
At Manuka Oval, 1989 Premiership decided. ACT Rugby Union Premiership going to Royals on behalf of our commentators, guest commentators Bob Hitchcock and Steve Lidbury, and the rest of the crew at Capital Television. Good afternoon.
Dean, have they taken you by surprise? They're very enthusiastic. They're very enthusiastic. We knew they would be. They've got nothing to lose as we have, and we've stuck to our guns, and with a bit of luck we might come away with it. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Dean.
I'm sure what he meant to say was they've got everything to lose.
Everything to lose, yes, but he's looking on the bright side.
So Stewart sends Barwick racing across again.
Stewart's been rather ineffective with his kicking tonight.